Welcome to Sorry I'm a Bitch. I'm your host, Kaylee.
And I'm Hannah.
We have Charlie's Angels, the Three Musketeers. Pop culture has a lot of iconic trios, but in real life, can friendships come in threes?
Can they? Yes.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line. I think it depends
Mm-hmm.
because we have a trio friendship
We do.
and it works.
It
Sorry.
does.
We have a trio friendship and it works. And I was thinking about this last night of why that specific trio friendship works.
Yeah.
And I think it's because we all kind of met at the same time. So nobody was kind of brought in to an already existing
The
friend group.
territory we were
Yeah.
establishing the territory.
Yes, it wasn't marked before we came into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think it helps that none of us live around each other.
True.
So there's,
Also,
yeah.
all of our previous partners, your current partner, they were friends.
Yeah. So maybe that's it. Maybe the boys just have really good taste.
The boys do have good taste,
The
honestly.
boys do have good taste.
We all stay in touch. You guys
Yeah.
are you and Kayla are the friend group that I stay who don't live in LA, who I stay the most in touch with.
Yes. Yeah, our group chat is definitely the most active group chat
Mm-hmm.
that I have.
We are talking about dudes, we're talking about relationships, we're talking about clothes. We do a lot of should I buy this? Should I not buy this?
Yeah.
Which is helpful.
And you know what's weird though? We're all in different phases of our lives. Like I'm a
Mm.
mom, I'm married, you are in a relationship, and Kayla is single.
Yeah.
But what I find a lot, especially being a mom, is I cannot be in a three girl group with two women who aren't moms because I will
Mm.
always be left out. They can just hit each other up last minute and be like, want to grab a drink? And they can't do that with me
Yeah.
because I have to like
Plan.
establish childcare and,
Maybe
plan around Lydia.
it's probably helpful that when I come to visit you and you have already planned out to establish childcare, but I don't drink and I'm also a very sleepy person. So I'm like, oh, you have a kid? Great. Let's stay in.
Yeah, watch movies on the couch that I can't watch normally.
You moved to Indiana as a mom. So you instantly were meeting other mothers. I'm sure some people without kids, but once you're a mom, it's like you know every mom everywhere.
Yeah, I actually have more friends that don't have
Really?
kids.
Well,
And I think
yeah.
that's because I'm a stay at home mom.
Mm.
And Lydia didn't go to daycare, so there weren't many opportunities for me to make friends with moms.
Mm.
But and I don't think I give off like a lot of moms that I meet. I want to talk about R-rated shit, and that's funny to me. And they don't. They want to be like, "What are you doing baby-led weaning? How long did it take you to potty train?" And I'm like, that stuff is so boring to me. Like, I'm sorry. Can we talk
Yeah.
about anything else? Let's talk about your hoe phase.
You're a human being. Not that there's anything wrong with anyone who becomes a mom and immediately that's their personality. Like, that's probably what would happen to me.
I think it's interesting too because I will be out with friends and they will talk about their jobs, they'll talk about their vacations and things like that. And then I will go to talk about something funny that happened with Lydia. And it's like, oh, she's talking about her kid.
Really?
I'm like, yeah, but you can just like sense it. Like there's a thing.
Hmm.
Or if I'm at a party and I start like I'm very honest about how hard the first 2 years are of
Mm-hmm.
being a mom. At least it was for me. So
Yeah.
I'm very honest about it. But I feel like I'm incapable of telling stories without throwing in jokes and like making it light and making it funny.
Yeah.
And I've definitely had women walk away from conversations before. And I'm like, okay, I don't walk away when you're talking about your boring ass fucking job,
Yeah.
Rebecca.
Also,
Or,
who talks
you
about their
know,
jobs anymore?
see, and that's boring to me. Like, but I'm not going to like say that. I'm not going to be like, oh, your job's boring. Like, I don't have a job. You talking about your job is like me talking about my kid. It's probably just as boring.
Well, it depends on everyone's priorities too. But fuck, if I go to a party or something and everyone's just talking about work,
Hmm.
it's like, do you do anything but work? Do you live to work or do you work to live?
I one time was out with friends and I said, I do do not want my job listed in my obituary. Like, I actually think it's kind of weird when people have their jobs listed in their obituary. Like,
Mm-hmm.
unless you've done something that is
Yeah.
public knowledge already. Why? I have done so many better things in my life
Mm-hmm.
than my job.
I actually think that's another reason why our trio friendship works so well, because we don't define ourselves from our careers or from what we have to do. We are friends on a much deeper level.
There's a friend group here in Indianapolis, and it's three of us. And I definitely noticed that they hang out a lot more than they ask me to
Yeah.
hang out. It would hurt my feelings a little bit. And then I had to remember there's a fine line between being left out and being teamed up on. And I don't think that they were teaming up on me. And I would like to think they weren't leaving me out because they didn't like me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking they probably left me out because they're just closer. And that just happens in threes. There's normally two friends that are closer.
Yeah.
There's normally a third wheel that isn't as close as two of them.
I have personal experience with that.
Tell us.
I was in first grade. My best friend, Tasha, we met in preschool. I remember arriving in kindergarten and seeing her there and going like, "You go to this school too?" Like, it was the best moment of my life. I adored Tasha. So first grade comes around, and then this girl, Lindsay, started going to the school, and Lindsay was super cool as well. They immediately were best pals. And I can remember it was snowy out. So I'm like a little 6-year old. It's recess. I'm wearing my snowsuit, marching around in the snow on the playground by myself, crying because I see Lindsay and Tasha playing, doing whatever in the snow, and I could have just walked over and started playing with them, but I didn't. I was just moping about and crying and singing a song like, "All I want for Christmas is a friend." So then I marched over to Lindsay and I kicked her in the vagina. Sorry, Lindsay. I was just jealous. I thought you were really cool. Tasha's really cool. No hard feelings.
Did you guys work it out on the remix?
um, we were all still really good friends throughout the next few years that I went to that school. Yeah, we figured it out.
You figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of younger years with three-way, did you ever do the three-way call? Seen it on Mean Girls where they're like, "Okay, be
Yes.
quiet. I'm a three-way." Did
Sorry.
can you hear that?
A little bit. Is it a jingle bell?
Winston, shut the fuck up, dude. He's so rude.
Cats are the rudest.
Well, shut the fuck up. Bring it to me. Jingle bell ball. 1 second. Don't look at my vagina.
Cute
Don't.
dress. Oh, you are flashing us. Oh,
I have undies on, I think.
I don't know.
Okay, back to the three-way calls.
Yeah.
I had two friends and I had been talking shit about one of our friends.
That doesn't surprise me.
I know. Okay, it was middle school. Who didn't talk shit in middle school? That's
I
like
don't
where
know.
you get your practice. So my friend calls me up and she's like, "Hey, what were you saying about Lauren the other day? I I don't remember us talking about Lauren. Did we say something about I don't remember." And she's like, "You know how you were saying that she's like really annoying?" And I was like, "I remember you saying that."
You're so smart.
I know, and totally backfired. And you can tell she was like, no, I didn't. I remember where I was in my house on that phone
Yeah.
call. That's how much I stood out.
Those were
Yeah.
the days when you had to like claim the phone line in your household.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the
Just
dial
as
up. Okay, 'cause the third wheel always knows that they're the third wheel. Like it's just so obvious. I feel like I can sense when there's a side group chat that I'm not a part of.
mm-hmm.
Have you ever had somebody lie that they were about hanging out with each other without you?
I never had that, but what I did have was two friends. We were all coworkers. One of the girls was coming over to my place, and I said, "Oh, let me invite this other girl." I'm not going to name names. I was like, "Let me invite this other girl who's also our friend." Actually, one of my closest friends. I've stood up in her wedding. The girl was like, "Oh, I'll just text her. I'll ask her if she wants to come." She gets back to me and she says she's busy. I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." A week goes by and I see the good friend. I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry that you couldn't join us for dinner the other night, that you couldn't come over and cook." And she goes, "What are you talking about? Were you not invited? Did you not get the invite?" And she said, "No." So I approached my other friend. I was like, What's going on? Like, why lie about that? If you wanted one-on-one time, just tell me.
Yeah.
That's okay. You don't have to lie about it. So that was weird.
Yeah, and how would she not think like, "Oh, this might get back to
I don't know.
other friends?"
There's something weird about it. I think there's been a few times where I definitely have not been included. Usually I'm kind of sad about it. I'm like, why didn't I get invited? But I don't know. If someone doesn't want to hang out with me, I'm fine with it. I just want to I like
Yeah.
lying down too much.
You don't have to lie to me about going out. You don't have to pretend that I'm not the third wheel. I know that I am, okay?
Mhm.
Don't put gravy on my tits and call them biscuits, bitch, okay? Like, I know. I know. I know, honey. But the thing is, I have a ton of friends. I don't need, I can hang out with them.
Can we
Why
go
you
back to
lying?
don't put gravy on my tits and call them biscuits? Where's that saying come
Oh,
from?
that's my saying.
That's yours.
One day, Zach was gaslighting me about something because he's a white man and that's what they do. It's in their genes. And I said, don't put gravy on my tits and call them biscuits.
I'm writing this down.
Okay, yeah, use that one.
Don't put gravy on my tits.
Yeah. Are you going to bring that into like a sign
Biscuits.
maker, like a woodworker, and have it him make a sign so you can like put that up like an
I would,
inspirational quote
yeah, actually,
on your
that
wall?
would kind of like a live, laugh, love situation.
Yeah, that it's the new live, laugh, love.
Honestly, I'm gonna make a poster of this and put it in our online shop. I think that would be great.
You know how teachers would have like the signs where like the cats would be like on a branch and it'd be like, hang
Yeah.
in there. That's going to be the new teachers everywhere. Please hang that in your classrooms.
I would hang this up in my house.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
Third wheel. I can't imagine you being a third wheel, honestly.
I have been. I think that I'm the type of friend you hang out with when you want a type of experience. I'm not every experience. Like,
My
there's no version of you that, like, I'm not going to love and take. But
mhm.
me, I'm not an every experience type of girl.
I think that goes for everyone though. I think for some people with me, and especially when I was drinking, they invited me out a lot more when I partied because I was fun. I was a lot of fucking fun.
I think you're still a fun time gal.
But
I have fun
you,
with you.
but our trajectories in terms of partying are very similar. Even though you still drink, you don't rage like we used to.
No, I mean, Zach and I
This,
did go out the other night, and I'm like,
are you okay?
I don't know what got into us. We went out with a couple of friends, a couple of our neighbors, who live the life that we would be living if we didn't have a child. So we loved going out with them, and we went out to dinner. We had a great time. We had wonderful food, great drinks. Zach and I came back home, and we were like, we never looked this good. We should do a photo shoot. We woke up the next morning and I looked at the
Oh,
pictures. I
gross.
was like, that is the most embarrassing thing we've ever done. We set up my camera on our stoop, set the timer,
That's
and we
cute
thought it was
though.
amazing. We were like, we're going to frame these.
I'm fondly remembering when we would go out for sushi and all of the shots that we would do.
Barchi in Austin has the best happy hour. It's all day on Sunday, and
Mm-hmm.
you can get oyster shooters. We would get
Tequila
lychee
shots.
martinis.
We would get fucked. And Kaylee was the instigator. Kaylee was like, another round of
Me?
martinis, another round of shot. Anytime the server would come back, you were ordering drinks for the table.
That doesn't sound like me.
Party animals. I think back to that time and the amount of drinking that we did was just wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Do you know what my favorite thing in the world is, though?
Hmm.
Okay, when there's a friend group, it's three people. Two of those people, not you, the other two, they get into a little argument. They're fighting.
Yes.
Okay, now you're middleman.
And then both people talk to you.
And then both people, you hear both sides of the story. Where are you going with this? Where are you going with this? Are you taking sides? Are you staying neutral? Are you playing both sides? What's going on? Where do you stand?
I'm always neutral,
You're always neutral.
but I will side with both of them and I will talk shit with both of them about the other person.
Yeah, you're fake.
I am fake. I'm absolutely am fake. I'm not going to be like,
Yeah.
you're being a cunt right now. Like, no,
No.
I want to get all the details.
You got to validate your friends.
And they always say, like, don't tell the other person. And I'm like, Of course not. Like, I'm not going to tell
No.
the other person.
We're
I'm
not
going
going to tell the
to
other person because we were also talking shit. Like, I can't,
exactly.
you want me to talk shit because now I can't tell the other person.
Exactly. But I love the feeling of like knowing I have
I know.
this like secret that I get to like keep in my
Hmm.
pockets.
But also keep me out of that shit
Yeah.
because that can really quickly turn on you and now they're on you.
I hope people are talking shit about me.
Oh, yeah. If people aren't talking shit about me, I've lost. I might as well just
Mm-hmm.
not exist. What is there? We actually had a bunch of comments that TikTok deleted because they said that they were bullying. So, like, and I never read that. I didn't know what they said, but apparently
What?
someone was, people were bullying.
To all of the people who want to bully us, we have an email address. So just
Yes.
email us. Like, take the time.
Or do it on TikTok. I don't care because a comment's a comment, a view's a view.
Sorry, have you ever had a friendship, a trio with dudes as well?
I've had a foursome.
Yeah,
Two
you
were a
have.
couple, and me and another one weren't a couple. Like that was
Yeah.
the most fun. But as soon as the couple broke up, the foursome broke up because
Yeah.
I took her side, the other guy took his side. That didn't work out. I've
Yeah.
had more friendships with three be toxic. I've
Mm-hmm.
had that more than I've had a good experience with it.
Mm.
But groups of more than three work out. It's kind of like I have two sisters, so there's three of us,
Mm-hmm.
and two are always closer. It's changed on and off throughout our lives.
I was reading that psychologically, when you have groups of three, two people tend to relate really well
Hmm.
and they establish a guideline essentially for the friendship. And there's always one person who kind of walks around the edge of that and challenges it. And so it's really easy for the two people to gang up on the one.
Well, it's kind of like Sex in the City.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie and Samantha are closer
Mm-hmm.
than, but they're a foursome. But I feel like I've watched it like a million times, but and people can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Carrie and Samantha were the closest out
Yeah.
of the four. It's also the show Girls on HBO. There's always somebody fighting,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like in that show, Hannah and Marnie
Mm-hmm.
were closer, and I feel like sometimes Shoshana would be
Yeah.
that third wheel.
Well, and I think the other thing that we have to point out is that in any relationship, there is conflict. There's going to be rough patches, whether you're in a group of three or four or two. I think we live in an age where we are so willing to dismiss a friendship when it gets rough.
I think during those moments you have to reflect like, is this friendship good for me?
Yeah.
Do problems arise often?
Mm-hmm.
Those kinds of things.
Like a lot of people stay friends because you've known this person since you were like 12 years old, but really you're a completely different human than you were 15 years ago. Why hold on to that friendship if it's
Yeah.
not serving you?
You fight with the people you love the most.
You should
Yeah.
be each other's peace. Like, I know that I can count on you. I can count on Kayla. Um, I can count on my friends here in LA, the ones in Austin. If I can't count on you when I need you, and vice versa, you're
Hmm.
not my friend. If
I know.
we're arguing, you're not my friend.
Yeah. I know. I say it all of the time. Like I have my really good friend Brittany and my friend Lucy that I've been friends with Lucy since preschool forever.
Yeah.
And when my dad died, those were the two, like they went to Cleveland to be with me because I knew it was a weird thing. Like I didn't have a relationship with my dad. I didn't really know how to like navigate my grief
Yeah.
and or what I was
Who
doing. And then
does?
everybody had opinions on whether I should be grieving, whether I should be going to his funeral. I was made to feel like such shit during that time. I'm like, dude, I lived my life without a father. He's gone from the earth now,
Yeah.
and now I'm being criticized on what I do with that.
Mm-hmm.
And those two held it down for me. Like
That's amazing.
Lucy was there at the funeral holding my hand. Brittany came, drove from Delaware to
Yeah.
Cleveland to be there to be with my daughter at the funeral so that I didn't have to be in the funeral and like also trying to keep track of a 2-year-old.
Exactly. you deserve to grieve in whatever way it
Mhm.
forms. And I think that goes for grief in general. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry that people had an opinion and
Yeah.
how that caused a serious rift in those relationships for you.
Yeah. It
Because you
did.
stood your
Yeah.
ground and you were like, how I'm allowed to feel how I feel
Yeah.
and I'm allowed to go be at the funeral.
Mhm.
I was really proud of you for that.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
it sucks because when you have a really awesome dad, when they die, you are thinking about all of the good times. You're not criticized as much as somebody who didn't have a father and then they die. Like I had somebody that was like, "I thought you hated your dad." Now all of a sudden I'm like, "I it's
It's
not like I
complicated.
had." Yeah, it's complicated and we did have good times. Like it wasn't I have good memories
Yeah.
with my dad. And I now at the end of his life, like now I'm being criticized, but they were there. They held it down.
Have
Yeah,
I
you know,
met
they're the
Lucy?
best.
Did I ever meet her?
I don't think you have, but you should.
It needs to happen.
Yeah, because she's awesome.
Hi, Lucy. I see you.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't see you. I see me in my camera and Kaylee, but I'm mostly staring at myself.
I know. If you see my eyes go,
Honestly, I can't tell. Can you see me when I'm like,
No, actually, this whole time I've been like, wow, she is so laser focused on me. I just know she's staring at me and I'm
when you
staring at
talk, I
myself.
do. But a lot of the time, I'm also looking at. I'm switching back and forth.
Our last episode is so annoying because the whole time I'm going, like my bangs, I know like my bangs are they're in a weird phase right now, okay? And I
Dude,
like
so are mine.
the whole
They're
time I
like,
was like, do I want these bangs? Do I want these? I also have really wavy hair, so like bangs can get a little weird. They can get a
bangs
little weird.
shout out to anyone who's considering bangs. Like,
Oh, mother.
you don't do it on a whim.
No, do you want to know why I got bangs? Zach took a picture of me and it was from an awful angle. My forehead, you could park a plane on it. It was huge and it was real shiny. Real
Oh,
shiny. I looked like, you know that Kristen Wiig character that when she's got the little tiny hands on
yes.
SNL? That's what I looked like. And I immediately contacted my hairdresser, shout out Brittany, and I said, I'm getting bangs.
Yeah.
And,
I
you know,
I'm pretty sure my forehead is way bigger than yours. I've always had
no,
bangs. I've always
it's
had
not.
bangs.
I'm telling you right now, it it's traumatic. And my friend Lucy used to always tell me, she'd be like, "You and your big ass forehead." And I'd be like, "I don't have a big ass forehead. What the hell, Lucy?" And then I saw that picture and I was like,
Oh.
"Okay, chill."
I wouldn't have noticed your forehead if you had not pointed out. It is very shiny in the photo. Photos aren't real though.
I
Like,
moisturize.
I think we have to understand that photos, shout out to anyone who struggles with their, self-image, whatever. If photos aren't real. The lenses change how your face looks depending on how close it is to you, how far away it is.
What if it's a really good picture? Is it real then?
No, none of it's real.
It's only
We are living in a simulation. Nothing's real. This physical thing, it's not real.
Hannah, don't put gravy on my tits and call them biscuits, bitch.
On that note, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you. Bye.